All right. It's Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk, and Mr. Puck here, Patrick Reusse, Mr. Hockey himself. Are we panicking after last night? Minnesota Wild.
I wouldn't say so, but you got to get your team back together. Jake Middleton has been like the phenomenon discovery of the season, hasn't he, Judd? Until last night, I mean, he's become an offensive machine, for God's sakes. This guy who's just kind of a plumber all the time, and now he gets hurt. What, 30 seconds into the game?
Yeah, it took a shot off his hand.
We don't know. We don't know what it was because it was. Now, what do you do with a hand? You have you got the upper body injury and your
I have a problem
lower
with this.
upper injury. Yeah.
Upper.
How do we describe a hand?
They
Is
call it
upper
upper.
body?
Yeah,
I
it's an upper
object.
limb.
Yes.
Why, because your hand hangs below your waist when you're standing?
It's
or?
mid body. We need to use mid.
Yeah.
But if you put your hands up, it's like
Right,
it's very upper body.
But at a resting position, it's lower.
Yes.
So let's call it mid.
Yeah, something because you got a hard. That's one of the great things about the NHL is I've talked about this, but 10 years ago, 12 years ago, they only kept secrets during the playoffs, right?
Yes.
I mean, they would tell you what the injury was. Now it's somewhere in his body he's injured. They don't trust each other in hockey. They think that their guys are going to go take shots and. If they have a bad knee, that somebody's gonna come and hit them with a stick in the knee. It's the trust factor in that sport is nil, man. It's unbelievable.
What I don't get about that though is so it is on film his hand being hit by a hockey puck, and he immediately goes to the bench. So do we think that no one's going to go back and watch this and say, "Oh, he got hit in the hand"? So if I want to take a cheap shot at him to hurt him further, it's his right hand. That's what I love.
Yes, yeah, that is true. They don't. It's not like 30, 40 years ago when you'd watch a game and say, what happened? No,
right.
we don't know what happened.
We have HD now. It's very clear what happened.
Yeah, what happened. You don't have the mystery is not there anymore. What happened in that mess? So, but anyway, no, we got the Flyers here Saturday, 1:00, and matinee. You won't be able to. Every little kid in Woodbury is going to be there with his parents in his jersey. They're going to be spending big money trying to get mom and dad to buy them something new in the. You know what they really need over there? They don't need a new place downstairs to deliver stuff. They need a bigger merchandise room when you walk right off the lobby, don't you think? They did that thing's a little crowded.
It is a little crowded.
It's not very big. It is a little crowded. But anyway, it's I don't know. 7-1 is pretty good thrashing, and I don't think there's anything to worry about. But we had to hook Gus the bus too. Was Gus bad or not?
Gus wasn't great, but the team was awful.
Okay.
They just had no had no edge whatsoever, Pat. They were very lethargic.
And I suppose once it gets made, how about this Draisaitl settle? Everybody talks about McDavid, but that guy's
player.
He might be the MVP. Huh?
He's a salty German too, man. He got no time for fun.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, he is. He is a cantankerous guy.
Oh, so 3 assists and a goal last night.
Really good.
He's and plus he plays more. He's not hurt like McDavid is half the time either, right? He plays all the time, right? I mean, McDavid's back now, but McDavid's. You always see it in the little notes. He won't play tonight because of something like that. But this guy Draisaitl, I think, plays all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's very, very good. They can score a lot of goals there.
So can I just say too? You bring up the the arena. That arena is 25 years old now.
Yes.
And I still love that arena. It doesn't feel, when you walk into it, to me, I mean, there's certain things, but it doesn't feel 25 years old.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It's amazing that what technology did. It's only 10 years younger than Target Center. right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only 10 years younger than Target
Hmm.
Center. And
90.
the construction ideas for arenas in that decade were fantastic because, you know, when the Target Center's built, they said, let's get more cheap seats up here in the boonies so they can't see the game, but they'll want these cheap tickets. Now, they basically made the rink obsolete because they got so much of they got 10,000 seats upstairs instead of downstairs where people want to sit. People will spend an extra $100 to be able to actually see the game. So Meanwhile, the Wild they did damn near everything right. That's for sure in that
And they want
arena.
huge improvements. That's the incredible
Yeah.
thing.
Well, what do but most of it is not like inside, right?
They
What do
want
they want?
inside too, though.
What do they
They
want to do?
I think they want to do things with the concourses.
Oh yeah,
I also don't know. So the goal too is to always create more luxury seating,
yeah,
which they've
yeah.
done a little bit of. But that's the
Mhm.
thing is there's always more room and technology in like how a suite is done.
Yeah, well, we can see that when you go to the Viking Stadium now. Is
Yes,
I can walk in and then I can walk down these steps and I can pay an extra $150 for my ticket, right?
correct.
But I got my own little concession stand there and stuff like it is. You're right. It's just the gouge is not big enough for the people. We want to be able to gouge them even more, right?
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing is because this week is the 14th anniversary of the Metrodome roof collapsing, and if
Really?
you do the math, the
Uh,
XL Energy Center is only, I think, 4 years younger than the Metrodome was when the roof collapsed. Because
Hmm.
1982
yep.
to 2000, so the Metrodome was 27 years old when the roof. So it's less than that. It's like 3 years younger than the
The
Metrodome was when the
the
roof
Metrodome
collapsed.
cost $2 to build, though. That was their problem.
It's a
Yes,
miracle that the
we
roof did not collapse
proudly
before.
we proudly were proclaiming how little we spent on that. What was Don? What was his name? What
Don
was his name?
Pass.
Don Paz. Don Paz
Don't
was
skimp on toilet paper and stadiums. That's
and
the
air
yeah.
conditioning. Don't skip.
Yeah, we don't need
Don't.
air. It's below
That's
ground. That's my
still
favorite. It's like a basement.
yes, yeah, yeah. It's down in there,
Yeah,
and
it's
of
like a basement.
course.
No problem.
And the fact is, during the summer of '82, we weren't really recognizing it with the Twins because nobody was coming to the games. A brand new stadium, and they drew 915,000 or something, right? That was
Oh, it's
the public
awful.
wasn't real high on our Twinks right then, just like they are now. But that wasn't recognized until that first Viking exhibition game when it was 120 in there and everybody was, nobody could breathe. It was a hot August night. And by halftime, there were 30,000 people standing outside and 20,000 inside the arena. Remember that, Joe? Were either of you guys
I
there? No, you
I
were too
wasn't at
young.
that one. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was insufferable. Everybody was saying, "Where's Don Poss? We want to hear about this natural cooling again." It was yeah, it was fantastic. But well, they're big on the dock though, right? They got to get a new dock down there at the
Yes, for
XL
concerts.
Energy Center,
So
concerts
we
and
can't
stuff
bring in
like
the
that.
sets that we want to as easily or something, or
They
what's
want
the
more
right
of
now?
them. So I think there's one or two right now, but I guess the state of the art thing is multiple ones because concert sets now are so elaborate.
So you
So
need
like
like
there's
five
more
semi trucks to back up at the same time or
They
something.
they
to
should
bring in
have been
more.
over there. They should have been over there fighting for it when we had a $17 billion surplus, rather than when 2 years from now when we're going to have
Right.
a $6 billion deficit. I think maybe the stadium improvements are getting put on the back burner here with the fact that we already spent all the money we had in the account in the positive ledger over there at the state
And the
legislature.
Wolves are saying, "Why? Wait! The Wild wants improvements to the
Yes,
X.
yeah, yeah.
We're playing in a dump."
We want a whole new thing, So anyway, Yeah, the Wild is. I think it's a little early to panic. That's for sure. So, what did they do with the big Russian last night? They just they who went after him? Who was what was their checking line against him last night?
For Kaprizov,
Yeah.
they actually used their top line.
Mm-hmm.
That top line is so good. McDavid is probably the best skater in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was one of those games where it was just once Jake got hurt, it was worse. But I mean, that was like 37 seconds in, but it was just sort of dead. But I mean, those games happen in hockey. That's the thing
Oh,
is,
sure.
can you come back on Saturday? If they come back on Saturday and play well, they're fine.
So I was watching something the other day about their new proposal that they're going to probably start the season a little earlier and try to end it a little because the
Yeah.
Canadians hate the end of June Stanley Cup run. They want to get it back. But here's the deal. Fewer exhibition games, but now they want to increase the number of regular season
I
games
know.
to 84 instead of
What?
82.
Yeah.
It's not like
They want to
getting
add two
rid.
games.
It's not.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not. They're not going to give up any of those sellouts, man. No, no. Yeah, it's at if we could get the four commissioners of all leagues together. Well, the NFL doesn't matter. The three, but the NBA. See, hey, help me. We got to get out the wild here. Well, help me with the NBA, the Arab airline tournament that's playing now. What games count in the standings and what don't?
Yeah. First of all, put some
Just
respect on Emirates Airlines there,
yes,
Pat. But
yeah. I
they
call it
so
the
all
Arab.
of the games count in the standings except for the championship game, right? I think
So
that
what do we do that we don't know who's going to play though? What how do we
That's what
adjust
they.
that?
yeah. So basically, all of the teams that don't get to the quarterfinal, like the bracket stage, they have
Hmm.
a week open on their schedule,
Yeah, that's why
and that's
that's
how
why
the
the Wolves
Lakers.
don't have a game here, right? So
Yeah, that's why the Lake. So they left it open, and they're filling it with. So every team that gets eliminated from pool play gets paired against each other for two games to make up for the quarterfinal, semifinal games that the other teams are playing. So
so
that's
the
why the
we were
Lakers and the Spurs are on the schedule now this weekend.
so the Lakers were only going to be here once, but now they're here twice.
Yep,
Right? That's
bonus LeBron, who might not play. It
tonight.
sounds
He's
like
not going to. I think they said Thursday he's not going to play. So he's got personal problems and then another injury. So I
personal
don't know.
problems working out a deal with Golden State behind the scenes to try and facilitate a trade.
Is that what? Yeah, he's. Yeah, I can't imagine Golden State can handle that salary to go with everything else. Can they?
Well,
Can
they
they
do have
really?
that Wiggins chip that they could use, right? I
Oh,
mean,
that's right.
they're going to need
Yeah,
more than that probably to
yeah.
get to LeBron's level, but
Well, LeBron, you got to give him credit. He looks around and says, "I can't win here. I'm going to go someplace else." He figures that, and then
well, is there did
he's
I see this right from like one of these NBA blog sites that there is a report on the edges of NBA insider blog sites that he would be open to a trade, but that any trade would have to include Bronny going along with him.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
he can't
That's
leave.
out there. Yeah.
Well, his deal is he knows that if he's not there putting pressure on the franchise, Bronny might not even he might get released from the G League team, because
Can
Bronny's,
you
you
imagine?
know,
Oh
What are you
man.
yeah,
doing?
yeah,
They got their photo op. Like at this
Yes.
yes,
point, dude, let
yes,
him carve his own path or not at this
Yeah.
point, you know?
yeah. There's nothing that happened in recent sports that drove me crazier than I don't. Okay, he gets to play with Bronny. Okay, fine. But to bring Griffey Sr. and Jr. in as though somehow this is comparable drove me nuts. Ken Griffey Jr. did not need the old man's assistance to make it to the big leagues at age 19, you
No.
morons. You know, I was in that spring training when he was a 19-year-old kid, and they said there's no way he's going to make this team in February, late February. And, somebody got hurt, but they kept them because they kept him because he was great. That's why they kept him. He was 19 and he was great. He wasn't. He didn't need. He brought Dad to join him. It wasn't the other way around. That
Yeah.
drove
How
me
would you
crazy.
rank the nepotism leverage play? LeBron trying to get Bronny into the NBA,
Yeah.
or Bill Belichick trying to get mulleted son Steve the North Carolina job here in about 2
Yes.
years.
Yes, that's how it works. Yeah, we can go. We can go to that too. It was a dream for Bill to coach North Carolina. When did he get the quality of BS with
So his
him?
dad coached there in the 50s, which I didn't realize.
Okay.
Yeah, before he went to Army for 100
Yeah,
years or something, or
yeah.
was it Navy? Which was it? Army,
It's
Army
one
or
of the
Navy?
military
The
schools.
I
I
think it
don't
was
know.
Army.
the old man was there forever. Yeah. Uh, by the way, and this is now we're drifting. We're really drifting.
That's okay.
How
We're good.
about Army being 11-1 and winning games against actual teams?
Yeah.
For 100 years we've been watching this game. Not that long, but back in the day in the 40s, the Army was great, but this is the first time we've seen two actual teams go against each. We're trying to get all the emotion of 3-9 Navy against 4-8 Army, but now they're Navy had a good year, but Army's good.
It
It's
would have been
it's
fun to
pretty
find a place
phenomenal.
for Army in the 12-team college football playoff.
Yes, yeah. But technically, weren't they FCS for a couple of years or something? Maybe I'm wrong. No, probably not.
They
But
were. I mean, they've just been kind of this independent
yeah,
roving team.
yeah. Now they got in this league, and it's odd that they just played the conference championship game and beat the hell out of Tulane, and now they still got to play Navy in the big game. It's weird, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know what how did they get good? I don't get it, but the two teams, neither of them pass.
No.
They got the tradition now that they don't. If you want to see an old time football game, watch Army and Navy, because you won't have to put up with that forward pass that they put in 1916.
That's no
Yeah.
fun.
It's
That's
Yeah,
always
no fun.
it is hilarious. So Army's played what 12 games? Yeah, they're 11-1. They've played 12 games. They've
yes.
thrown they've thrown 97 passes the entire season, and two of those were by two different punters on fake punts. So they've thrown 95 passes.
I watched
Oh
them the
man.
other day for about a period, about a quarter, and it's unbelievable. Third, 4th and 4, they go for it on the ground. They run. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So
Hey Pat, tell the audience about your favorite car dealership here before we get too far off the rails.
183 vehicles at last report, new vehicles ready to go at Apple Valley and Hastings. Jim Paul and Brett Paul. December, good time to buy a car, man. We're trying to move them out and get in for make room for the new stuff, and great deals on the 84s. So there's already, 2024, and there's also 25s on the lot now, but 183 according to the inventory that I just looked at. Interest rates as low as zero. In other words, not an interest rate. It's, if it's zero, it's not an interest rate, right? It's just whatever the cost. And there are some vehicles at zero, others at 0.9, others at 1.9. Interest rates are fantastic. We have a veteran sales staff out there, Apple Valley and Hastings, 4 different varieties of Buick SUVs. The Hummer EV, I looked that up. 60 months, no interest. You can
Wow.
get yourself a Hummer SUV, EV, and it's not the huge old Hummer that you know from the early years. These things are a little more. They can fit in your garage. These things right now. So Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers, Apple Valley and Hastings. Get out there this weekend. Doesn't that doesn't 1 degree make you feel like you need a vehicle that's going to snap right off in the morning? This is
Makes
this
me
is
feel alive, really. Yeah.
head on out there, Buicks and Sierra trucks, big Sierra trucks too, the heavy duty trucks that everybody likes. So I recommend them highly. I've been dealing with them for 13, 14 years.
Can always tell when our dog Maya Mackey runs outside and after 3 seconds turns back with that.
Yeah.
What the hell are
And it's
what,
like,
what,
you got to go back out
Yeah.
there. You
Yes,
got to do
that's
your
right.
thing
get
out there.
get out there and
Yes.
poop. You do
Yeah,
your
come
job.
on. Yeah, yes. We're not.
You got
letting
one
you back
job
out.
or two.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
Wouldn't it be
was,
awful if we had to go outside and this is what
Huh?
it was like in the old days,
The outhouses, yeah.
these luxurious
Yes.
heated homes we now have. Go back to
Yes.
the 1800s and they're outside squatting in a bush somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, I wrote something today about the Bethel going to Susquehanna to play on Amos Alonzo Stagg Field, and Amos was starring for Yale in the late 1870s, and they didn't throw many forward passes. They hadn't invented it yet, and but it's always interesting to look at Eastern football back in the day when there was like everything else was nothing, and all these little schools were playing Harvard and Yale, and they were the big powers, and this school has been around a long time, but Bethel is out there playing them on Saturday at Stagg Field,
Wow.
trying to get to the Stagg Bowl. So that's weird.
So Chicago fired Stagg because he was too old, and
Too
they said
old.
that?
At age 70, the president of
You
the
should take great
university.
umbrage at that.
Yes, at 70, he was 70. But you know what Chicago did instead? They dropped football, in the late 30s, I think. He left, they fired him in 32, and they were a big power in the Big Ten. But instead of concentrating on football, they basically invented the atom bomb, and they
Yeah.
split the atom instead at the University of Chicago. So that was I don't know if that was a great victory for mankind or not, but they they I think they play now. I think they play their D3 variety of football, but they were the Big Ten had Chicago in it, and then it became the Big Nine when Chicago left. And who did they bring in to make it the Big Ten again? I'm quizzing you two guys.
What? Wait.
It
Let's
was
see here.
it was the Big Ten, and then Chicago quit football.
And what
Came
year did they
in
quit? What year did they quit again?
Late 30s.
Late 30s?
I think.
When did the
This was a hard for the boys in Ann Arbor to take. They let in Michigan State.
Oh,
State was
okay.
not in there. They let in Michigan State, and
Wow.
Michigan didn't like that because they were the little brother, Michigan.
and they said someday we'll be 18 teams,
yes, right.
but we'll still be called the Big Ten.
Yes, we will.
We don't know
Yes.
what that graphic will look like, but we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Hey, we got the playoffs coming up, and does anybody care this week at the opening weekend of the college football playoff? Right? Isn't
that next? Is that this weekend already, or is it next weekend?
It's
No, I
next
guess
weekend.
we got maybe.
Yeah, Army Navy this
next
weekend,
weekend.
then the
Yeah.
next
Oh,
weekend.
that's right. And then we got the.
I care. It'll be great.
And then
Yeah.
and then the quarterfinals are the bowl game. That's when we start
Correct.
attaching them to the bowl games. But they're at so they got a home game at Penn State in the first round. That could be a little nippy up there if they get our weather.
Oh yeah,
Give
that's
about
going to be the
5
fun
feet or so.
dynamic. Is like watching these games be played in cold weather climates that they aren't normally. I'm excited for it.
I gotta think I'm not. And we got our Vikes. Vikes are only a touchdown over the Bears. Is that free money at home?
I feel like
Seven?
it's the Bears are a disaster right now.
I know. Why is it only
Yeah.
7? It's probably moved. I mean, sometimes what you see in the newspaper and what you get when you actually call a bookie or make a bet is a little higher. It's probably 8.5, but it says 7 today. That seems low.
We'll see where they got 3 days to move it, so we'll see what it is on Monday.
All right.
All right,
that's
Pat.
right. Monday game. That's right.
Yeah, you
Right.
guys can do a big preview if you want.
All
So yeah,
right.
we're gonna go jump into a little Purple Daily live stream here and fire up the masses. But enjoy your weekend and stay warm out there.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you, gentlemen.
All right, Pat. Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold.